Hello, I hope you are all doing well this afternoon. It feels so amazing to have you here with us. Let me begin by extending a warm welcome to the Capital IQ Platform training session hosted by the Resource Learning Center of the Faculty of Economics and Business Universitas Indonesia. As you may already know, we have recently subscribed to Capital IQ Pro, a platform known for its rich data, news, and analytics across various industries, including banking and economics. Today, we'll dive deeper into the benefits of the platform, how to set up a new account, and its practical applications, so we can discuss about it later. And our guest speaker for today is Ms. Faith Mock from S&P Global. She will be sharing invaluable insights into all things about Capital IQ. But before we dive into that, let's extend a warm welcome also to Ms. Endang Wahyu Lestari, Head of the Resource Learning Center at the Faculty of Economics and Business Universitas Indonesia. Ms. Tari will be explaining why we subscribe to the platform. Ms. Tari, the time is yours.
Thank you, Hani. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, selamat siang semuanya. Good afternoon for Faith Mock. Thank you for your welcome to join us as trainer. As we know, you substitute of Mr. Desmond, yeah. He can be trainer today because there is a duty trip, so you substitute him. And welcome to everybody, lecturer and student. Let me say in bahasa ya, karena ada beberapa yang saya ingin jelaskan beberapa poin. Seperti yang tadi disampaikan oleh Hani sebagai MC atau nanti guide. Saat ini Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis mulai tahun 2024 akan melanggan database yang namanya Capital IQ Pro Platform and COMPUSTAT Financial via Capital IQ, di mana ini adalah semacam database seperti Refinitiv tapi berbeda datanya. Kemudian data ini bisa diakses oleh semua sivitas akademik dengan login personal, gitu ya. Nah, ketika kita menetapkan untuk melanggan database ini sudah melalui perjalanan atau proses di mana ada propose dari beberapa departemen terhadap pelanggaran data ini, kemudian dilakukan presentasi, kemudian trial beberapa waktu oleh tim reviewer yang berasal dari para dosen dari 3 departemen yang merepresentasikan kebutuhan 3 departemen tersebut untuk mendapatkan untuk memberikan review dan memberikan rekomendasi apakah database ini layak untuk dilanggan atau tidak oleh Fakultas Ekonomi. Dan alhamdulillah sebulan 2 bulan yang lalu sudah keluar rekomendasi dari tim reviewer yang terdiri dari ada beberapa profesor, kadep dan seterusnya untuk kemudian meminta kepada dekan untuk melanggan. Dan hari ini adalah training pertama kita untuk melakukan bagaimana cara mengakses database tersebut. Nah, kebetulan Miss Faith Mock ini adalah pengganti dari Mr. Desmond ya, yang harusnya hari ini bisa memberikan training langsung sebagai account manager dari SP Global Market Intelligence, tapi beliau sedang trip keluar negeri, jadi digantikan oleh penggantinya yaitu Faith Mock. Kemudian hal lain yang ingin saya sampaikan adalah bahwa data ini diakses oleh semua mahasiswa, dosen, peneliti dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis, ya khusus FEB UI, di mana semua user sudah didaftarkan kami kepada global S&P Global untuk kemudian dimasukkan ke platform Capital IQ supaya semua bisa mengakses melalui personal login. Yang pertama adalah harus sudah menerima welcoming email yang menjelaskan atau memberikan link untuk meregistrasi untuk mendapatkan personal login dan password untuk meng-create login dan password Bapak dan Ibu semua mahasiswa dan dosen. Kemudian setelah itu nanti baru bisa mengakses mulai hari ini sebenarnya atau dari beberapa hari waktu lalu selama bulan pertengahan Mei kita sudah bisa untuk sebagian sudah menerima email untuk bisa mengakses langsung. Namun kesempatan kali ini adalah training pertama yang mudah-mudahan bisa dimaksimalkan oleh Bapak dan Ibu semua. Nah, bila ada yang ingin mengulang mendengar lagi training, kami akan merekam training ini dan akan memposting di websitenya PSB. Nanti kita coba akan share melalui SBA prodinya masing-masing. Kayaknya sementara itu dulu ya Hani ya. Nanti saya terima kasih untuk Hani mau meliding training ini. Terima kasih untuk semuanya. Selamat belajar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ms. Tari. All right, now without further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Faith Mok to elaborate on the workings of Capital IQ. Ms. Mok, please, the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for the warm welcome. Let me just share my screen to get started with today's session. Let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen.
All right, perfect. So, yes, so as mentioned, there's two different platforms that we have. We have the Capital IQ as well as the Capital IQ Pro. I'll be going through both of them today and just showing you some of the main functionalities, how you can look up company profiles and get the information that you need. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to let me know as well. I'll be happy to address them. Alright, so the difference between Capital IQ and Capital IQ Pro is also that Capital IQ used to be our older platform. We had a lot of legacy functionalities, and a lot of clients are more familiar with this just because of their background, whether it be banking or anything like that they use Capital IQ beforehand. But in terms of the layout, you can see that Capital IQ Pro has a much more modern look. You can see that it kind of resembles a bit like an iPhone sort of look, where it's a clean, modern, sleek layout compared to Capital IQ. But one thing that you will notice is that in terms of accessing COMPUSTAT financials, which I understand that you guys have access to, that's only available on Capital IQ. But if you need any, let's say, private company data, you need any sector level information in energy, real estate, or even metals and mining, all those are more available and more extensive on the Capital IQ Pro platform. Yep. So to get us started with Capital IQ, the page that I'm on is known as the dashboard page. So this is something that you see whenever you log into Capital IQ, and this dashboard here is customizable. So you can see at the bottom of the page, there is an add widgets option. So this allows you to add in widgets that you want to monitor, like earnings activity, events, and when you hover over each of the events widget, you'll notice that there is a description on what each widget contains. So for example, the filings and annual reports, you can see that this shows me all the filings for the companies that I'm monitoring, and then I can just click on the plus icon to edit, and then you can just rearrange this as well. If I'm happy with my dashboard, I can just then leave it as is, and I can even create multiple dashboard or multiple pages for me to monitor. And you'll notice that I have a couple of dashboards, and on the right of each dashboard, there is like a name. This over here is my watch list, which I created in my account. So for example, I have a watch list called Berkshire Hathaway Top Holdings. I can see like the top gainers and losers for the companies that I'm monitoring. And how I can actually create the dashboard is using the My Capital IQ. There's a watch list option over here, and I can just click on create. They will just prompt me to enter in a watch list name. And I can just enter in the name I want, and then also include the companies that I would like to monitor. So it's just taking some time to go. Yeah. So over here, I just need to enter in a watch list name. So for example, I want to set mine as 15 May, and just click on create. And then over here, I can add in the companies, or I can even upload. If I have an Excel file, I can drag and drop that over here. Otherwise, I can enter in a couple of company tickers here. So I'll just show you an example using, say, Apple, Soft. So let's go. So once I'm happy with this, let me just add this. And once it's been added, I should be able to see the companies populated at the bottom of the page. And if I'm happy with the list of companies and maybe I want to share it with some of my teammates or anything like that, I can adjust the access level on the right, but by default, it's always just set to my own access level. So you can click in to see some of the groups that you can assign and sharing access to. And if you have a couple of watch lists, you just want to make sure that you don't create duplicate watch lists. You can see all of them under my watch list over here. So over here, I can see all the available watch lists I have within the account. So something like this. So this is more for a monitoring list of companies. So if I go back to my dashboard, I can then set the widgets to a particular watch list that I would like to monitor. So I can go over here, add companies, and then I can enter in the company name, or I can enter in the list name and then save it, and then my dashboard would then update accordingly. Any question on the dashboard or the watch list function so far? Alright, if not, let me move on to how you can look up company profiles as well as their financials. So in the main search bar, you can look up companies, you can paste in the company file, you can even put in the company ticker. So let's say I'm doing Apple, I can click this over here, and then it would just redirect me to the company profile. And on the company profile, right now I'm on the tear sheet page, so this gives me a summary of some of the latest financial metrics as well as qualitative information, so I can see things like the company website, the business description, the sector it belongs to. If I scroll down further, I can see things like news headlines or key developments. This one over here, the key developments, refers to some of the market moving events that S&P tracks. And at the bottom, you can see some of the latest market information or financial information. So if you want to dive deeper into the financials, all of those are found under the financials or valuation section. Or if you want to access the COMPUSTAT financials, they will be available here. So let me just show you an example using the COMPUSTAT financials for the income statement. So you can see that these are the financials. And then at the top of the page, I'm able to adjust the time frame. Right now, it's all showing me the annual financials, but if I want to see things like the quarterly, I can always adjust that. Or if I want to see a particular quarter, I can also set that as well. And then you can rearrange the sort order for the latest on the left or right. It's entirely up to you. If you want to change the currency, all those are found under more options. And I can set the currency, whether the US dollar or something else. Otherwise, I can always just leave it as the reported currency, and then this would change depending on which company profile I'm on. So if you want to extract the company financials into Excel, you notice that the financials pages will have this download this page, download financials option. So those will just export whatever you see here into Excel. And for the financials over here, you can even see a breakdown. But you'll notice that for the COMPUSTAT financials, I'm not able to click through to get the exact filings. So this is different from what I see from the financials and valuation section, where these are taken directly from the company 10K, 10Q filings, and I can click through to this, which will just prompt this pop-up window to appear, and then they'll let me know, where this particular product's value is from, and then I can see here in the actual filings themselves. Alright, so some of the information that you might be interested in from the company profile I'm going to run through is how you can find some of the similar peer companies. So I'm going to run through the peer companies, I'm going to briefly talk about transactions, and if there's anything else that you want to see from the company profile, feel free to let me know. Alright, so how you can find the peer companies is using our Quick Comms tool. So I'm going to So under peer analysis, there is a quick comps button over here. This is where I'm able to find similar peer companies to whichever company I'm on. So in this case, I'm on Apple's profile, so it's giving me some of Apple's competitors or comparable companies. And you'll notice that there is a couple of metrics that are populated already. So I can see some of the market information, some financial information, and so on. These are just populated by default, and I already have like 10 companies generated over here. But let's say you're thinking of another company that you think is a more similar peer company, but it's not in this current list. What you can do is actually add the company using this, and then you can search it by name, by ticker, or so on. And if you want to save this entire com list, you can actually toggle this and then save it as well. So on the options, under COMPUSTAT over here, just save the quick comps that I'm already on. And if you want to see more information for these companies, so right now I'm showing these market data and financial metrics, but if I want to see other information, I can always use the add or edit display columns, and then I can select what sort of metric or what I'm looking for, something like this. And then you can rearrange this, you can remove those that you think are not so relevant, and then save. So that is the quick comps tool. So another thing that might be of interest, if you need to see any share price information, you want to plot the share price volume, you can always use the chart builder over here. In the main top bar, you should also be able to see a charting widget, and you can create a chart from scratch. If I'm clicking it from this page, it would just populate for Apple automatically. So let me show you the annotated stock chart first. Another window over here. So the annotated stock chart just means that it should show me some of the key events that happen over time. So I'll see that I have the share price and volume already plotted onto this chart, and there are some diamond icons. So what all these diamond icons refer to are these are the key developments or updates about the company. So it could be things like a transaction update. In this case, it's an M&A transaction update. So I can hover over any of it to see what are the sort of developments that happen on particular dates, which may have affected the stock price movement. If I want to see other metrics apart from the share price and volume, I can always click on the plus metrics over here and add that. So things like the multiples, market cap, and so on. Otherwise, if I want to see all of the key developments as well as the dates, I recommend you to just export this into Excel. So you can see that there's an Excel icon on the right hand side. So when you export it to Excel, there'll be a table that summarizes the date, the development, and what happened on the particular key development. Otherwise, if I am on the company profile, I can actually also find the key developments, it's all under these events and filings, and then the last link over here shows me the key developments. So something like this. And at the top of the page, I can also customize the sort of key development that I'm looking for. So I can choose to also include Apple's subsidiaries, Apple's investments, as well as the categories. So it could be things like potential transactions, it could be like distress indicators or transaction updates. So it's entirely up to you. Then you can set the time frame as well, or the start and end date. Then this over here would just summarize what happened on that particular development. So you can see the type of development is, the date, as well as the company involved. So let's say if I'm clicking on the May 10th one here for the cash dividend, I can see the actual key development as well as some of the pre and post event stock price changes. Any questions so far on the company profile or anything in particular that you guys would like me to go through?
Yeah, I think you might go through. We are listening.
Okay.
It's enjoying.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Is there a question?
No. I haven't questioned yet. I think can go on.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So I'll just briefly go through the transactions, and then later I'll show you how you can use the screening tool to find a list of companies or transactions as well. So if you need to see any of the company historical transaction information, these are all found in this section over here. So for example, I can click on the M&A private placements, and I can see the list of deals. And then again, at the top, I can customize the type of transactions, the role, whether or not I want Apple to be the target buyer or seller companies, the time frame, as well as whether or not see this for their subsidiaries or investment company. So let's say if I'm looking for M&A deals, then go. Then here I can now see all of the deals over time. To see more information about any of these deals, then I can always click on any of the transaction state. So I'm just going to take this one as an example over here. Then this is where you see more information about that particular deal, who's involved, brief description. If the transaction valuation are available, they will also be disclosed over here. And if there's any other related deals, they will be listed as well. So another way that you can also look up transactions or companies is to use the screening tool. So you can use the screening tool from the top. You can screen for companies, equities, fixed income, or even key developments. So what I'm going to do is just use a company screen to show you what that will look like. So basically, it's like a giant filter. So it's a filter to look through our entire database to find the companies that you want to look for. So at the bottom, you can see here there's quite a lot of information and criteria that I can add. So generally, the first column shows me a lot of company information. The first one is more qualitative metrics. This one over here is more financial information or market information. The second one tends to do a bit more company updates, the equities listing, actions, ownership, and so on. The third one is more people data, so I can screen for people like the board members of certain companies, and the last one is more transactions related. I know there's quite a lot of information at the moment, but there's really no need for you to worry in terms of knowing where the criteria sits in, because you can even use the search over here. So let's say I want companies based in APAC. I can click on geography, and I can just open up the criteria over here. Let me just refresh this because it's not allowing me to click. Okay, so let me try geography again. Open the criterion over here. And then you notice that there is this window over here where I can specify what other countries or region that I'm looking at. Let's say I want APAC companies. And maybe I want them to be public. So I can use company type over here. So right now there's too many results. That's why it's not pulling. So if it's more than 1 million, the screen is not able to run. So we want to make sure that this is something more focused. So public company, I'm setting it over here. And then what I can do is I can even specify, let's say if I want the market cap to be over a certain amount. So I can type in market cap, open this criterion, and I could set the range, or I can even rank the companies based on market cap. And the right-hand side shows me a results preview, so it's showing me all the companies that currently meets the 2 criterion that I've added. So if you find that these are what you're looking for, then you can continue to add on, but if you don't think that these are so relevant, you can continue to add in other criteria until you get what you're looking for. So this is another way that some of our clients use to generate outcomes, because they just specify that they want certain revenue range, market data range, and so on, to find the most relevant companies. So let's say I want to rank this based on market cap, and then what I'm going to do is choose absolute rank. So if I'm choosing absolute rank less than 101, this just means that the companies are ranked based on the latest market cap available. Otherwise, I can also specify a date, but for now, let's leave it as latest, and that is in queue. So now I have 100, the top 100 companies in APAC ranked based on market cap or the latest market cap available, and I can click on view results to see my actual screen. So over here, I can see some of the companies. So this is really ranked in ascending order. So I can see it like this, with Taiwan Semiconductor being the company highest market cap at the moment. But this is still pulling me 100 results, right? So for example, I'm not sure if a specific company I have in mind is within these 100 results. What I can do is use this where is my company dotted. So then I can look up, let's say 10 cents. I can see whether or not it passes or fails the criteria. If it passes, it just passes. In this case, it passes all three, so it's fine. It's okay. But if I were to take another company that doesn't pass, they'll let me know like why it fails, which criterion it fails, and then I want to tweak the criteria if it's not passing the criteria that I set. And apart from just seeing the screening results on the platform, you can also export this to Word or Excel. It is entirely up to you. But based on what I've added, because I've only added these 3 criteria for company type, the region it reports in, as well as market cap, this is all the information I have right now. But maybe I want to see more information data about these companies. What I can do is go into customize display columns. So I'll go into browse all display columns, and then this will allow me to, it wouldn't narrow down the list of results, but maybe it just shows me more information. Maybe I want to see the country where it's incorporated in, as well as the primary office. And it's columns, and then click on results. So it'll still show me that 100 companies, but now I can see more information, for example, the country, as well as the primary address, which is split into like the main address line and so on. So something like this. So this is just an example screen that I have. If you're happy with the screen, you want to come back to it later, what you can do is just save it as a new screen, so you can always revisit the screen later on to see what other companies the highest market cap in. And just something to note in terms of, let's say, if you're running financial or market data metric that I have over here, the currency that you have would depend on your screening settings. So you can see at the top there's a screening settings over here. And then when you click on that, you should be able to adjust whether or not you want it in USD, IDR, so on. So something like this, and then you can specify currency or the currency conversion mode, and then you can just save this. Another way that you can adjust your settings is just under My Capital IQ and settings, and then there's quite a lot of options over there for you to play on the settings. I'll leave that up to you. But this is the company screening tool. As a starting point, I'll let you know that there are some pre-built screens that we already have. So we have some screens based on what we have heard from our clients, what's popular, trending in the market. So there are some pre-built screens for you to use, so you don't have to build it from scratch. And these are all found under the idea generation screens. You can click on all idea generations over here, and this will show me all the available pre-built screens that I have within Capital IQ. They also include like a description of what each screen consists of. So maybe you could see things like corporate. I can see all these are the screen names, but if I expand it, I can see a description on the actual screens. I can see this one is where there's MD, so by public company, and then I can just use this as a starting point, and then I can just narrow it down further from there. So I can click into this, and I can add in maybe APAC, or can in a certain industry classification. All those are entirely up to you. This is just a starting point for you to already have some of the criteria included within the screen. Yeah. Alright, I'll move on to the Capital IQ Pro platform, because that one has quite a lot more data as well as functionalities. So it might take up a bit more time, but if any questions on Capital IQ, feel free to let. So this is the Capital IQ Pro platform. This is what you'll see when you log in. Again, there is a customizable dashboard, and you can see the add widget is on the top right hand corner, and then you can select whatever widgets that you're looking for. On Capital IQ Pro, we do have more news sources. So you'll notice that, for example, I have this news widget over here, and I have a section for Nikkei News. So Nikkei News is something that we recently included on Capital IQ Pro. So this covers not just APAC companies, but also some of the trending, fast-growing companies in terms of startup and just trending companies in general. And the widgets on Capital IQ Pro, I would say, is a little more interactive. So you can see that some of the widgets, like the charting over here, as well as the news widget, there's this little broadcast icon. What this means is it just symbolizes that depending on what company ticker I have selected. So for example, if I were to click on Alibaba's ticker now, it would then update and give me news content that is relating to Alibaba. Right now you can see even the stock price has updated to Alibaba's stock chart instead. So this is something that is a bit more dynamic, and if you don't like that, like you want the data to just show me for Alibaba, I don't want it to change when I click VIT, you can always toggle to switch this off. So it's only switched on if it's flashing like this, but otherwise you can switch it off. And the widgets are also very easy to use. There's a gear icon for you to customize the time period. So let's say for the news one, I can choose a different time frame, and I can choose 1 day, week, month, or even a longer period as well. Then you can choose the type of news content as well. So you can choose whether or not you want it to be Nikkei News, whether or not you want to monitor like company events, key developments, and so on. That's entirely up to you, and you can just apply to save those changes. And before I move on Capital IQ Pro, I just want to briefly go through a bit of settings and account setup information, because Capital IQ Pro has a lot more data sets available. I just want to highlight that the tabs that you see here is not as wide as what you see on Capital IQ. So because of that, we've made sure that this is a customizable navigation bar, and how you can adjust it is using the user profile and display information over here. So typically, we will recommend you to stick to the profile specialization of generalist. If you want to choose something else, it's also possible. These are just a bit more sector focused. So things like metals and mining, real estate, or TMT, those will give you more sector level information. But why we recommend generalist is just because it gives you all across the board. And we've recently kind of changed the design of this. So if you want to edit this top navigation bar, it's right now only available for the generalist specialization. So you can click on edit, and you can add in even the other sector level information that you can kind of rearrange this as well. So anything that you don't see in your main navigation bar, it will sit under the more section, and this is everything else that you have access to. So other settings information I'm going to quickly highlight is the currency and time zone. So these are all adjustable under display information, and you just want to make sure that these are adjusted, because it would affect, let's say, later on you look at the company financials, or if you have an alert created in your account, which I'll show you how you can do that. It will follow the time zone settings that you have over here. And then the last couple of things is if you want to see everything in dark mode, that is also available on Capital IQ Pro. And if you make any changes, remember to click on the Save button at the top of the page. If you don't see that it's a clickable Save button right now, it's just because you haven't made any changes, or you're missing some of the required things. So once you have filled those out and made changes, then you'll be able to click to this. So earlier when we looked at Capital IQ, we were monitoring watch lists of companies. We can do the same thing on Capital IQ Pro. It's just under the folder icon, and then this portfolios and screens. You can click on create list of portfolio. It works the same way, so you can enter in whatever list name you want, click on done, and then also enter in the watch list or upload an Excel file. Once you have the watch list created already, you can also set up company level alerts. So this is all found under the bell icon, and you can use create method here. I'm just gonna show you how you can create an alert from here. You need to enter in a alert name as well as how you want to receive the alerts. There are three different methods that you can receive this alert. One is the email alert, so it's just sent to your email address directly. The second one is if you have the mobile app, it sends you a push notification. And the last one is a desktop alert. Desktop alert just means that it will show up over here. So if I just want an email alert, I'm also able to set up the frequency. So let me just show you using an existing watch list that I have. So once I have selected the watch list and I'm happy with this, again, select the alert triggers and the alert frequency over here. So the alert frequency for email alerts, you can either have them real time. So it means that whenever the alert triggers are met, they will send you an email alert, or you can schedule it so it will be sent at a specific day, at a specific time. And then this will follow your time zone settings that you have already adjusted in your user profile. In terms of alert triggers, we can see that there's quite a lot of options over here. Some of the popular ones I'll just briefly run through as the news. So you can set up like either by keyword or type of news content, topics, and so on. Or it could be like when companies have published certain filings, you can see filter through whether it be the annual reports, the 10K filings, or you can also search based on keywords. Events over here would be if they have like certain AGMs or earnings call, things like that. So you can explore this as well. And then key developments, this is again the market moving event that S&P tracks. And for public companies, you can also select market data. So you can see if there's certain price change movement over time that you want to be alerted on, then you can select those. Once you're happy with the alert, just click on Save at the top. And if you feel that either you're receiving too many alerts or you're not receiving the alerts that you have set up, what you might want to do is just click on Manage Alert under the bell icon. This shows you all the available alerts that you have within your account. Anything that is in green is currently active and switched on. Anything that is in gray is not switched on. And in terms of on this Manage Alert page, other information that you can see is the Subscription Center. This one over here is specific to the US market. So if you want to monitor the US market and get like a daily summary, there's a morning and evening email notification that you can subscribe to. So this just sends you an email either before the market opens or after the market closes each day to summarize maybe like the latest Fed rate, some of the companies with latest earnings announcement or movements in the stock price, just summarizing what's happening in the US market. Alright, so that covers the watchlist alert functionalities on Capital IQ Pro. I'm now showing you how you can also look up the company profiles and briefly run through the charting screener functionalities on Capital IQ Pro. So in the main search bar, you can again look up company information, but on Capital IQ Pro, you notice that apart from just company information, I can look up other things. You can look up, like, say, the people information, fixed income, equities, and so on. So you can just, it's really up to you and what you want to search. So you can again use the company ticker, company name, or the company URL. So let's say I'm using this. I can see this is what I'm looking for, or I can see other results with similar names as well. Then I can filter if I'm looking for a public company, private company. If I'm happy with this, I can just click on the result and it'll just redirect me to the corporate profile. On the corporate profile over here, it's more like a two-panel layout compared to Capital IQ. So I can see the left-hand side is more like market data, financial data. Right-hand side is more qualitative metrics, so things like the industry. This thing known as topic tag, which is a bit more of like a niche, up-and-coming areas that we identify these companies involved in based on their business description. So for this case, I can see that they are involved in things like enterprise, cloud infrastructure, team collaboration, and cloud management. So if I want to find other similar companies, I can actually click on any of this hyperlinked topic tag. So let me just show you that real quick. So this is the cloud and infrastructure companies, as well as some of the recent deals in this cloud infrastructure space. The top of the page allows me to filter the companies by operating status and geography. So I can see this for, let's say, APAC or a different region if I prefer. And then over here, it shows me some of the deals that has been recently announced, as well as a list of private and public companies. So in terms of company coverage, CapIQ Pro is definitely quite extensive in terms of public company. We capture about 99% of the world's market cap for public companies listed. If there are specific companies that you have in mind, especially for public companies, that you don't see on a platform, you can always feedback to us, and then we can work with the product team to get those public company data included in the platform. For private companies, it is a bit trickier because, generally getting private company data is quite challenging, especially in APAC as well as a lot of parts of the world. So the private company data would depend on what we have. So we work with some third-party data vendors to get this private company data. So we do have some available, but it's typically not as extensive or not as detailed as compared to the public companies.
Miss Mo,
yes.
How should I call you, Miss or Mrs.? I'm sorry.
You can call me Faith. That works as well.
Okay, Faith. It's quite. When we open this panel, you provide data. I think I read there the what is it? The time period is it was vary between companies. As an example, Perspective brand. The first Perspective company is 20 and 70, I think.
Are you talking about the financials of the companies?
Yeah. Yes. I think.
Okay.
May I see the previous panel? I mean the when you provide the data, I see we are we are reading this panel. Okay, here is 20 and wait 2023 years. Do you have do you have the audited financial report? Is it the data come from audited financial statement or just not audited? How can
okay. Yes, that's a very good question. So for public companies, you can see that there are actually two different folders under the financial section. So there's an as reported, and then there is a templated. So answer your question, the as reported would be whatever is coming from the company's publicly available financials. So I believe this should be the audited financials already. And then the templated over here means that after our internal team receives the financials, sometimes there's a bit of standardization done on our back end. So that just ensures that when you're looking at different companies, so later on when I look at Apple, for example, I know that at least the way that we calculate the revenue between this company and Apple will be using the same methodology. Yeah. So you can actually click through into any of the financials over here. So for example, we click the revenue here. I can see the actual source document.
Okay.
And then I can see where we get this number from.
Maybe here today is May, in the middle of May, so it should be 2023 financial report. Most of the company have reported publicly reported, but I mean when we are in March or April, what about it? How the display of this data? What do you think?
Okay. So as in, are you saying you want to see a different view, like a quarterly view, or you mean like when the new financials are available, how is it updated on the platform?
Oh, okay. Thank you. I can see. Okay. I have another questions. I think.
No worries. Yeah, go ahead.
Would you show me what do you have in sustainability report? I think there is a panel sustainability, but you do not explain it yet about.
Do you see on the left hand side over here?
In horizontal panel, I can see sustainability.
Oh, sustainability. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, okay. So this sustainability over here, this is something that I don't believe Universitas Indonesia has access to right now. This is actually some of our ESG data. Yeah, so definitely if you guys are interested to find out more about ESG, what we have available in space, I can probably talk to Desmond to see whether or not they can show you what we have available. But yeah, I think right now you guys don't have access to this at the moment. But everything else you should be able, ignoring the research and stuff, just like the news, the markets, dashboard, all those should be available for you guys to access. But if you want to find out more about the ESG sustainability side, we can definitely check our ESG specialist on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
No worries. Yeah. So also just to let you know, let's say if you have specific information that you like to see. So for example, you always want to see the income statement, but you don't want to, you can always, expand the financials and all that. You can always pin this. So this one then will play at the top. Then you can just easily access some of the pinned options as well on the left-hand bar of the company profile. And if you want to extract out information, let's say you want to see a report, a company report, you can always build a report over here. It just allow you to, select which pages that you are looking for, or which pages are a bit more relevant. Yeah. And on the Capital IQ Pro side, I'll just also quickly highlight. So first one is the peer comps. So the peer comps is similar to quick comps on Capital IQ. But the advantage on Capital IQ Pro is that you can actually see how we have come up with these criteria. So if you expand this, click on peer score criteria over here, you can actually see how we generated up these peer companies, and you can also adjust the weightage. So let's say for public companies, it will look at analyst coverage, the revenue, as well as where it reports in. But if you want to remove or adjust the importance of this, you can do that, or you can add in other criteria that you think are relevant and apply that. So then what it does is that the system calculates based on standard deviation a particular peer score. So basically, the lower the score, the more similar it is to our base company. Yeah. And then this just gives you a bit more transparency in how we come up with the peer companies, but the same thing applies in terms of if you want to add other companies, save it into a list, or delete some of the existing peer companies. We don't quite agree with that. That's entirely, that works the same way. Yeah. And then another thing I want to show you is the transaction summary. So here on Capital IQ Pro, you can see more data visualizations. You can see more like bar graph, things like that. This is available more so on the Pro platform. So the first one on the summary page, you can see some of the recent transaction volume over time. I can also see a distribution on the graph itself, as well as the breakdown by sector. So for example, I click into TMT, I can see that 8 of the transactions are in the telecom space, 3 are in media, and 1 is in infotech. And then some of the latest news updates as well. So if I want to see the detailed transaction, again, I can go into the detailed M&A history page. I can click on to any of the transaction ID, and then I will be redirected to the deal profile, which shows me, let's say, the price change over time, a summary on what happened, as well as some of the deal valuation information. And once I'm on the deal profile, I can see the left-hand side, there's the transaction comps option. So this is only available when I'm on the actual deal profile. It'll just show me other similar transactions. Similar to the peer comps one, is just based on this deal profile as well as transaction type. But otherwise, the more straightforward way for you to also look up deals is to use the screener tool. So again, you can screen for companies, transactions, and so on. And I'll show you how you can even pull up comparables using the company screen. So when I'm on a blank company profile, I can toggle this to set the comparables to on, and then it just asks me to enter in a company name. And then say this over here. Then it will pull up what I saw on Pure Conscripts. So it populates all of this already by default, and then I can adjust the criteria. But if I don't want to pull up comparables for this company, I can just toggle this off. Just remove this right now. And then add in the criteria that I'm looking for, either at the bottom of the page, or you can adjust this to the left-hand bar as well. You can adjust this, and then you can just browse the criteria and then add in those that you're looking for. And as a starting point, also, we have those same idea generation screens all available here. So this is something that you can definitely explore. And then you can also see them by screen type. So let's say I want to see all the transaction screen, and then I can do something. Yep. And then just to show you how you can also use the charting tool on Capital IQ Pro, this is all sitting under chart builder. So it depends on how your top navigation bar is arranged. So if you don't see chart builder over here, you can either move it more to the front, or it's just sitting under the more section. Click on chart builder. Something like this. And then I can plot in a company index and so on. So something like this. And then I can toggle to add in the share price and volume. And once I have the share price plotted in also, I'm able to toggle to switch on the key developments. That is the same set of key developments that we went through earlier. So whether or not I want this for the subsidiaries or investment companies. And then I can see what happened on this particular dates. And here I can actually see the actual development. If I click onto any of them, I can get more information. And if I even want to make my own custom annotations, I can even use this add new over here. So I can set the annotation to be typed to this company share price. And then I just have to specify a date where I want the development to happen. So let's say maybe I want it in January, end of January. And I can put test annotation on whatever I want. Whatever I want it to be, and I can save it to the entity. So this just means that the next time I'm plotting in the key developments, I just switched it to custom annotation. I should be able to see that as well. So over here. So this is the charting tool on Capital IQ Pro. And just a couple of more things, just because Capital IQ Pro has quite a lot of information available. First one I want to show you is the document view. So if you're looking up, you want to do a bit of research, whether company analysis or anything like that, have this document viewer where you're able to go through the company filings or company's transcript to look up and find the most relevant information. So you can search either by the company name or the watch list that you already have. Try existing watch list. I can see all the available results that I have from the company filings, the transcripts, and so on. So let's say if I'm looking at the company filings and I'm just looking at their annual interim filings over here, and just clicking on the first one. Just see. There's any financial metrics that we can extract from here. So this document viewer has a very smart search over here. So if I'm searching up the word income, you can see that they are pulling up any mentions of the word profit as well, because it does look up the synonyms of the particular word. So why I want to show you this document viewer is because if you want to extract out information, let's say I'm on this table now and I want to extract this out, I just need to hover over the table and you can see there's an export data option. So this will then export this entire table into Excel. So it follows whatever I have, whatever I see over here. I can even see some of the similar tables from this company to compare it as well. So there's just a quick and easy way to extract out some of the company level analysis, especially if you don't want to manually do it Excel. This is a quick and easy. And you also have the option to download or extract out these financials if you prefer. And you can see that in document search, there's also entities column. So this just already filters out the mentions of specific companies. So if I click on to any of this, they'll just show me when the specific mention appears within the company filings. And if you want to track any annotations, there is a notepad as well for you to create those annotations. Alright, so that covers the company profile, the screener, charting, as well as document viewer. What I want to show you on Capital IQ Pro is also the ability to see some of the country level information. So in the main search bar, I can also look up, say, Indonesia, and I can see the country region profile. That gives me some of the macro information, the GDP, CPI, population information. You might not be able to see some of the ratings information compared to what I have, but what you can see is some of the summary as well as economic data. So the risk summary here is just breaking down the country's current performance based on country risk scores. This is typically using the staf factors. So you can see what the current score and outlook is, when the score last changed, as well as the prior score as well. And then another thing that we can access is the economic data. This is some of the historical and forecast macro level information, population growth, CPI, GDP, and so on. So you can adjust the time frame at the top. And if you want to see this in comparison to the rest of the world, there's the economy perspective over here. And what you'll be able to do is just set the year that you're looking at, and it just shows you Indonesia compared to some of the other countries as well. Whenever you're on a country profile as well, something to highlight is you can see some of the sector level information in particular sectors. So some of the financial institutions, metals and mining, TMT, you can see some of the aggregated information on those ends. You can expand it to see some of the aggregated financial highlights, maybe an M&A activity within those particular sectors. So this is because Capital IQ Pro has more extensive and granular data in this particular sector, so you might see more information on this, and it's something you're not able to find on Capital IQ. And one last thing on the Capital IQ Pro side that I want to quickly run through is the news function. So under news, there is quite a lot of options that you see over here, so I'll just highlight some of the main ones. The first one is the news homepage. The news homepage allows you to set the categories of news that you're interested in on the left-hand bar. So you can click on See More Topics to select whichever category you're interested in. You can add in your just so on. And when you click into any of these categories that you already have set out over here, you can see some of the recent articles. So if I were to click on any of the existing articles, you will notice that you can see the journalist name, where it's from, and in terms of our news sources, right now we have 3 main sources. So we have Market Intelligence, our own in-house news team, we have Dow Jones News, and we also have the third source, which is the Nikkei News. So for any news coming from our own intelligence news team, you'll notice that any mentions of company will be hyperlinked with the company profile. If there's any mention of any particular deal or any development, you can also see that those are linked in hyperlink. And the right-hand side just shows you some of the recommended articles, and you can feedback if these are helpful, as well as popular articles in the last 24 hours. Under the news section, you can see sector-level news information for these particular sectors up here. I'll leave you to explore that, but what I want to quickly show you is the issues in focus, as well as where you can get some of the daily digest news articles. So the issues in focus over here, this is where our news team has really picked out some of the trending topics within the market. So let's say energy investing or election related updates. And then you can always see some of the recent for articles for these particular themes or topics. So if you like this issues in focus page and you think any of these are, something that you want to continue to look at, what you can do is even add this to your shortcuts page. Otherwise, you can always access it from the news issues in focus. But anything that you add to your shortcuts will just be in the shortcuts drop-down bar. So it's for easy access as well. And then each of the news page, you're also able to toggle industry and geography focus. So you can specify if you want to monitor companies within a particular sector or region. And then the last thing under the news section is the newsletter and recaps. So this one over here.
Your time is 10 minutes more.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Annie. So the newsletter and recaps over here, these are daily digest news articles that summarizes what's happening in the a particular sector and region. So you can see each of this will let me know what sector it's looking at, as well as the region in the headline. So this is for the banking and finance sector in Europe. I can see for APAC as well. So if you want to get, let's say, daily updates on what's happening in the market, what you can do is actually create an alert and get this daily article sent to your inbox. Typically, it sends before the working day begins, or it depends on what you have in your account settings, just to get a sensing on what to expect in each day. And then the last thing I want to highlight is if you have questions on the platform, and either you have a question on some of the values that you see on the financial side or anything like that, you can actually go into the help section. Here we have some platform tools that shows you some of the recent updates on the CapIQ Pro platform. There's the FAQs and training over here. This one shows you in terms of it works like a question bank. So you can go in and search up whether you have questions on screener, on financials, and so on. Some of the user guides are also there. And then there is this CapIQ Pro Academy, which shows you more tutorial videos, and quick support. So quick support is where you can contact our 24/7 client support team, so via email, phone call, or online chat as well. So there is a global coverage, so even if it's a weekend or a public holiday, let's say you just need a very quick answer to some of your questions, this is a support team that you can contact just to get some information as well. But of course, if you have specific questions and you want to reach out to myself or Desmond, you can feel free to do that as well. But this is sort of where you'll be able to get some of the quick replies from some of our internal teams. If you have, questions on the platform or anything you're not sure about, this will be the fastest way to get the information. So before I end of the session, just want to check if there are any questions in terms of what you've seen today, any feedback that you have. Feel free to let me know.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Mock. You have provided such a comprehensive explanation of the platform. All right, now I would like to encourage some of you to ask questions to Ms. Faith Mock. If you still need more information, maybe, or some of you are still maybe unclear, we'll be accepting only one question only, because the time will be up just soon. Okay, is there any question? One more question only to Ms. Faith Mock. If you are comfortable speaking on the mic, please raise your hand and ask a question directly. But alternatively, you can also type your question in the chat box. Okay, let us see. All right, we have a question from Marcia. Can Mock provide step-by-step looking for all companies' financial data in the certain IDX indices, for example, LQ45?
Oh, okay, give me one moment. Let me just reshare my screen and see how you can screen for companies on listed on IDX. Alright, so I am on a company screen on the CapIQ Pro site right now. So firstly, what you want to do is you want to specify that they're listed on a particular exchange. So what I can actually do is under equities, I can select exchange over here, and then I can select the option. Honestly, the fastest way is sometimes to just use the lookup window from your browser itself, select IDX. And then if you want them in specific sectors, you can always specify that, or if you want them to have specific financial market data metric, then that will be up to you to specify as well. But right now, this is just showing me all the companies that are listed on IDX. And then let me just run the screen to see the list of companies. So something like this. And then if I'm happy with this, I can leave it as it is. But if I want to see more information, then of course I can customize the display columns and show you what that would look like. So let's say I want to see the business description for these companies. And then what I'm also going to show you is how you can also even see if they have a topic tag. So if they have anything assigned to them in the topic tag, let me just add that as well. So we can see if any of these companies have that. So something like this. This is showing me all the IDX listed companies, as well as their business description and the topic tag if it's available. So does this answer your question? Just want to check.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Mok.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think our time is up. So thank you very much, Ms. Mok and Ms. Tari, for delivering a really great explanation today. As Ms. Tari also stated in the chat box, for more information and training information, you can chat to our staff.
Ya, Hani, tadi maaf saya kurang dengar. Halo, Hani. Halo, Hani.
Halo, apakah suara saya terdengar atau?
Ya, terdengar.
Okay. All right. So, if you need more information about the training, you can chat to our staff, Mr. Dindin, like what Bu Tari has also stated in the chat box. And if you need more information also about the unit, you can chat to our staff, Mr. Ade Ismail. He is the IT from the Resource Learning Center of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia. All right. Anything else, Miss Endang? You want to, Miss Tari? Sorry.
Yes, I think it's enough. Yeah. Thank you.
All right,
everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. We have reached the conclusion of the training session. A big thank you to Miss Endang Wahidastari, Miss Faith Mo, and all of you for joining us online today. I will conclude the training. Till next time. See you.
Thank you, Hani. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Faith Mo.